بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
So let me just quickly write a sample emails. So this is something I'll try to do. A quick 5 tasks I will try to do on how to write the emails and those things. So I got some sample requirement here. We got a task update. Now in the task update, this is what we actually want to do. The VLAN configuration update. Now if you're writing a raw email, this is what normally we write. We simply write as VLAN 20 has been added on the switch 1 and the uplink is working fine or okay, and the user testing pending. These are the things we have to write. Again, at the back end, we'll be using the AI integrations. So you can use the ChatGPT version, either the free or any version. Just create a new project. Because by creating the new project, you can align different projects on a different folders. That's something you can do. Depending upon that, you will also have a history kind of things. Let's assume that I'm creating a new project by clicking on this folder. You just write this. This is what the simple information we write in a notepad. That is what exactly you and I do. I just simply type my own text. Let's say, okay, what I want to do is I want to write an email to the client about the status of the work and in more professional way. You don't need to write. Once you give first time, uh, it will automatically understand the next way, because as I've been using these tools for a long time, so it basically understands my requirements and the way I communicate. But for the first time, you need to give some inputs. As you keep on doing the same thing with the same account, it actually keeps a track of your works details and everything, project details and everything. So this will again simplify. Okay, so what I want to do, I need to write an email. I'll just keep it simple. Okay, just paste it. And what I want to do, write an email to the client in a more professional way. That's it. So probably just click on the arrow key. Now it will start writing the email for you. Okay, so as you can see, this is what you're supposed to write. So dear, just replace the words and copy this, or you can just click on this copy here. And then this is what the professional email. Don't, if you copy in the word, you won't get this stars. So instead, or you can just copy this from here, because I only want this information. Or if you're copying in the Word, which I generally prefer to copy in a Word, which will also give a proper alignment of the text. Because if I recopy the same in the Word, the problem is, you won't get that alignment. So just copy the same in the Word and delete this information, make the changes, whatever the changes, and then that's it. You got everything done. So if you want to make any changes, write in bullet points. Let's say if you just wanted to make some changes to the same thing, you just say rewrite in bullet points, or whatever the things, whatever the way you want to write, bullet points as needed, or rewrite. You know what exactly you want to say, because now you just need to give the instructions in a more simple way, and the same thing as per the points I discussed. So I'm going to go back to and I remove that, and I got the same thing. Okay, so now you know how to copy paste the things. So this is the subject what we are going to copy inside my email. If I want, I can just use my personal email here, just a quick. Anyway, normally you use official emails, so I'm going to use my personal email, where I can just go ahead and say compose the email. This is my subject. Okay, so to whom you want to send, the recipient, CC, those things you already know, and you just make the changes. Okay, so dear team, please find the latest update. These are the things. And the best regards, generally you should have this best regards inside your signature. That is also one thing I recommend you to keep it, because you need to have your details in the below, the best regards, like your name and the designation and whatever the contact number or the email details, the signature. You add that signature, that is something important, and you just send it. Okay, you know how to send the email. That's not a big deal. So you can see here, it basically keep the alignment. So the main thing when you're copying directly from the chat GPT to back to the here, you can also paste directly to here. But again, if you know a little bit more on editing part, you can always use that. Like in my case, let me just remove this and try to paste it here. Sometimes pasting directly also works, but it's up to you. You can just go with a direct paste. The alignments, formats will change slightly, or it's up to you. Normally, I prefer the Word to because I can simply go ahead and edit. When I copy this to the Word, it will be more aligned, and I can make the changes here inside my Word, and I can send it in a more professional way. Okay, so this is my subject. Now, mostly if you're using Outlook, you will have the alignments will be intact because it uses the same Microsoft tool. So you don't need to switch on between them. But when you're going with a different browser or different Windows options, slightly there will be a changes. You have to figure out them and you have to adjust. Now, as you can see, this is what, and you can just simply send it. Okay. So more or less, you do the same thing here at the end. You just need to know what exactly you want to write down. Let me take another example. I'll just take a quick 5 examples to write down where I have those examples here. The simple raw email, internet down alert. That's another task. If you write a raw email, you generally write like this. You say like, internet down, that is a subject, and the internet down at the side B, logged a ticket with the service provider and waiting for an update. Now, if you follow the same chain, now here you can see if I'm following this same chain, I don't need to repeatedly tell again that, rewrite the email. It will understand the chain because I'm not using a new prompt. I'm just following the chain of the prompts. So when you're working on the same project or the same format, you can simply follow the chain to keep a track of the request, what you have given. So now it understands that it has to be in the bullet points and you need to rewrite the email. These things which will automatically understand in the backend. And now you don't need to tell again that, rewrite the email. I can just copy this. Let me remove the previous one. Don't remove. Normally when you're doing, I recommend you to keep a separate document only for these details to be saved. And then you can change the details, dear client or, end team. Okay, so please find the status of the current update. So this is my subject, and then copy this, and you can see it's clearly mentioned that the issue and the action taken, current status, and what's the next step. And finally, at the end, if you provide your details, let's say if I'm telling my details to the AI prompt that regards, one time you say like, regards add this Sikandar Sheikh and my number, something, and then my email address, something like that. So whenever you mention these details, automatically it will start adding that in the last. But again, I generally recommend you to add a signature in the email itself, and there is no need for repeating again. But still, it will add. You need to just delete that part. Let me just quickly do the remaining tasks. I actually have 5 different tasks. Let me copy this task here. Instead of directly copy pasting here, the firewall rule management. I can even type it here, but I generally prefer to give my request in the notepad and then the heading and then write an email. Okay, so simply write an email to the client or with whatever the details. You can just add the details. These are the things has been observed, approve these or whatever the details you just write down and then follow the same chain here. So when you follow the same chain here, again, it will do the same thing for you. So it will write down the subject and then find the details, the purpose, enable the web authentication, the required change, action needed, these things. Let's go to the 4th one. Slightly different examples I have taken for you to understand. And the raw email, a normal email, is the switch replacement notification. And I'm copying this and I'm giving to the same chain. It will follow. So you can just rename this as an email chain in the beginning, and you can always scroll down and see the folders. You can see the email draft. Every time I'm doing that same, I'll follow this section, click on this, and I just write down. So this way it will save all the details and it will allow you to write down. Let me just delete this and show you the same thing here. And finally, one more example quickly. I'll try to add another example. Added 5 different examples with 5 different variations. Use a notepad and write down your details. Simply, you don't need to be technically all the spellings correct. Let's say if I am typing the same thing here, till I'm 30, DSCP test is done. Even there might be some kind of typing errors. That's fine. To some extent, it will we can test tomorrow. You don't need to write all again, okay? Because you don't need to be writing all the exact spellings. So write just like you write a normal chat with some spellings. It will understand. DSCP test is done. Hopefully, it will understand. If not, you can make the corrections. You can see the same thing here. So this is what you have to do, especially when you are replying to the emails or writing down the emails. Use a notepad to write your own information in your own language, and use the prompts to rewrite the emails, and simply copy them in the Word file. I recommend to use a sample Word file to copy the here, and then the main advantage here, if you copy it, you will have those alignments, everything intact, and you can copy back directly to the email. Because if you are copying this again into the back of the notepad, you may miss those alignments because the notepad do not support the formatting styles. But whereas from here, you can make the changes and you can copy this from here and paste it back into the email to while you're sending, and always verify before. Make sure that you make the changes. Don't just simply copy paste because there might be some time errors. Sometimes, it can happen, but mostly you have to know what exactly you are doing. What exactly the message is? It the same message what you exactly want to deliver? Confirm that, make the changes. If needed, you can just rewrite it again and tell, okay, not this, do this, and then finally the final draft you can send it out.